Awesome.
All right, what's up, YouTube? It's HairgelGravel here with the third episode of the NAMBLA-X Stream Destroyer. This week we will be speaking with HeroKing from NAMBLINGS and OniChris, who's also from NAMBLINGS. So first of all, I'm just going to toss it over to HeroKing to talk a little bit about himself.
Hey, what's up? I'm HeroKing. I go by a bunch of different names. So if you see me, since I found out how to change my name, I think every other day I'll change my name to something stupid. Sometimes it's No Your Towel, other times it's HeroKing. Sometimes it's Balloon because my original name came from Balloon's Tower Defense, so that's where that comes from. And I've been playing this game for not that long, probably a few months now, probably like 4 or 5. And I got to Legend, I think, a couple weeks before Season 1 ended. And I was placed about 600. And originally I thought Legend was going to be easy. I was like, okay, cool, I can just play whatever I want, not worry about rank, and just keep playing till I get wins. Because I wanted to switch out my themes, because I play Mystic and Sci-Fi, and those are the most... Those two themes don't really go together. But I make it work. And I wanted to switch to Mystic Adventure because of that baby card. And I just wasn't able to because I would demote to 3,000 plus, 4,000 plus. And I got, that really made me salty. So I just stuck with the cards I have. And the highest I've been in the recent times was probably 205 or so. And I only play 1 2-drop. So I think that's one of the more surprising things about my deck. And I play 3 range units instead of a bunch of assassins because Mystic Sci-Fi doesn't really have assassins. Butters is a 2-drop in both of them. And only Astro Butters is the one that's actually viable. Because even at level 4, I forgot his name, the little tiny... The Mystic Butters, you can he still has lower stats than most 5-drop commons or 2-drop commons. So that's what's really unfortunate about that. And on top of that, his effect was nerfed from its original, so it gives you probably a 1/6 of an energy. So you'd have to play him 6 times just to get 1 energy back, and it's not gonna happen.
Nice. And now I will turn it over to OniChris, and if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. First off, I did not know that you were Balloon. That's hilarious. I'm Chris. I'm OniChris everywhere. I've had the same gamer tag since, well over a decade. So you'll see me anywhere across Reddit or, of course, Phone Destroyer. If you see this tag online, it's definitely me. Also I was on, I guess, the second, once the game actually launched, I was staff on the Phone Destroyer subreddit, as well as the official Discord server. I'm not any longer, but if you have any questions about that, I'm happy to answer. In Legend Season 1, I didn't do great. I think I finished around 800 something. I run Adventure Sci-Fi. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I want to play it. My top rank ever was only maybe 398 or 400. It wasn't great. I'm very fickle with my deck, so it's hard to decide exactly. And I'm sure later when we talk deck discussion, I can get more into that. But otherwise, right now I think I'm ranked 1200. I deranked a couple times, a little sheepishly. I wasn't sure if I was cool with it or not, but I got a little tilted and decided, fuck it, I'm just going to go ahead and derank just for a minute. Otherwise, yeah, that's me.
Nice. So just before we get started here, I was wanted to ask you guys, how often are you able to play, and when do you make time to play the game?
I'll go first. I play all the... right now, I'm on... vacation till September, so I've been playing this a lot. Jeez. And I play as much as I can. I recently started to Smurf accounts, so I've been playing even more because of those. And one of my Smurf accounts already has stronger rats than my main. My main has level three rats, and my Smurf account has already 4 max rats.
Yeah, that's
and
awesome.
I actually just started the Smurf account like a week ago. And in low elo teams, they don't really know that rats are good, so my requests would always get filled. And they're like, "Rats? Oh, this card is garbage. It dies in one zap to the new kid." And then within the first day, I climbed to like level 20 bronze shield with just like 1s and 2s with like the cards you start off with. And then after that, I got locked at level 20 or at rank 20 because I'd come up against a lot of D rankers. Like at rank 20, I'd see like a level 8 new kid, but he would have 4s and 5s, and I would just think it's like the dumbest thing ever.
For me, when do I play and how often do I play? It definitely comes in waves. I used to play hours and hours every day. Now it kind of depends on my mood, honestly. Legendary, I think, I guess we're getting into it later, but I feel like it's kind of fucked right now. Everybody kind of plays the exact same way, regardless of the theme. So if I start the day and like the first 5 matches are kind of wonky, I probably will only get on for the free packs and like card requests. So lately, not that much at all. But I've plugged, I assume, hundreds of hours into this easily. So right now, not often. But I do have a job where I can play while I'm at work. So if there's nothing interesting on Reddit, you know, I'm probably on.
Nice. I just want to comment there on HeroKing. The fact that you're on vacation till September, that's insane. What do you do?
I work as a private tutor at the moment, and right now I'm actually working in game development right now. So I'm trying to develop a little small card game of my own. And yeah, and I don't really have to do anything till September. So
that's awesome.
Right now, private tutoring is just a little side job for me. So I just do that, and yeah, it pays the bills.
It sounds like you guys have quite a bit of time on your hands to pick up this game. Unfortunately for myself, I don't have the advantage of playing whenever I want because when I'm at work, I can't take my phone out and just play the game. So I usually play my first PvP pack I think I started my alarm 15 minutes early in the morning so I can wake up and play that PvP pack before I have to go to work. And then I'll play on my lunch and then after work. So I can usually squeeze 4 in if I stay up late enough, but 3 is a guarantee.
Do you refresh?
For me. I do refresh. I don't spend a whole lot of money on the game, but I do need to be able to refresh when I'm on my PvP streams because who wants to watch me just grind lockers? Everyone wants to see what I'm opening. So basically, I put money into the account for PvP refreshing on stream, but this weekend for the event, I had a hard time finding time to play the event, so when I did have time, I refreshed quite a bit just so that I could finish the event with all the packs.
Yeah, Robo Baby was the only event I actually ever refreshed packs. I think at most I'd refresh like a pack when it's like 20-30 minutes before, when it costs like, I don't know, $4 or $5.
Yeah.
Oh, can I segue back to that in terms of PvP refreshing really quick?
Yeah, go for it.
I should mention I am a bit of a whale. So if I am in the mood to play, like I mean, I'll go to locker limit refreshing like over and over and over, like pretty much all day. Yeah, absolutely.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
I only did that once.
I mean, we were discussing it earlier. I've got over 50,000 coins, and almost every single every single card in the game except for one, and I can't figure out what the hell it is right now.
What the? Send me some of those coins. I'm sure like a good 20,000.
And every single theme, like the lowest level of pretty much all the cards is 4, and I've never played Mystic or why is it escaping me? Not adventure or sci-fi, but fantasy. Yeah. So it's not hard for me to PvP refresh, but
I'd like to ask you when the shops change, do you buy out all the coins?
When with the PvP tickets,
yeah.
or not so much lately because I haven't been playing lately, but before, yeah, I was sitting on easily 40,000 tickets, and I would always get the coins, always buy out the outfit so they wouldn't show up again, and then every day, no matter what the materials are, I'll buy all of them.
Nice. I'm kind of the same. I buy out the materials when they're there, but I don't go above 150 for ticket to coin ratio because I feel like spending more tickets for one coin, like 2 for 1, isn't good value to me. So once it gets to 150, I'm like, okay, that's flush. You know, I'm spending 1 ticket per 1 coin. But what about yourself, HeroKing?
I'm usually always low on tickets, so I have to budget what I spend my things on. If I can, I'll just buy all the coins flat out. But I usually prioritize silver items. I'll never buy bronze items. And lately, I've been on a really shortage of Mystic and Sci-Fi gold items, so I buy those. I don't buy any epics because I don't know. I think epics are garbage. Except, well, at least I think my epics are garbage.
Yeah,
And
I think mine are too.
if sometimes I have to budget, sometimes there'll be days where like I'm just short on PvP tickets, so I'll have to buy like only the first 5 or like 8 worth of tickets for gold. But if I can, I'll buy all the gold I can.
Coins aren't really an issue. Once upon a time, like before I switched to Legend, because I want to say level like 16 before I made the switch. Like I was really a lot higher than I should have been. So having a powerful new kid actually meant something, a little bit more than it does, you know, in higher rank legendary. So I was just boosting my new kid with just powering up cards that I don't use. So that way, you know, if rats or something in silver were coming at me and I had no energy, they would just get annihilated anyway.
It's not a bad strategy. Well, a lot of people know this about me, but I actually started a new account at Worldwide Launch. So I'm a bit underleveled for the amount of time I spent on the game. But I think the main thing is just, you know, if you're focusing on one theme, you're going to have a low new kid, but your cards are going to be really strong. Whereas if you're focusing on multiple themes, you're going to have a higher new kid, but your cards are going to be a little bit weaker. So in that sense, there's almost a little bit of balance there.
I think the really sad part about that for my deck is sometimes I'll get clapped by like a 14 or 15 in like 2000, and then it'll just tilt me for the rest of the day. I'm like, dude, I was like ranked 200 one time, and I went against some guy like 1500, and he clapped me. I think he 3-barred me, and it's because he was using Adventure Mystic like 2-cost spam. He even had like the little underpants zones, and I got so mad because I can't out trade him because he opened and he played 5 2-costs. And I was like, dude, I can't do anything about this. My Zen would be shredded, and I just can't like out damage him and out trade him.
Yeah, the scary thing about low-level new kids in the mid-tier ranks right now is there are a lot of people that are coming out of Silver Shield that almost were stuck in Silver Shield for so long, playing all those top-tier players that were D-ranking in the first 2 seasons. That they're actually really skilled players coming out of the Silver Shield right now with like level 14, 15 new kids that have all level 5 cards because they built the strategy of the game up right away, right? So
yeah, somebody in the chat, and I realize now that I answered a question in chat via text, but level 13, like beating out 17 and 18, absolutely. Like at some point, if I came across like a 13 or 14 while I was 17 or 18, I'd be like, all right, sick, free win. That thought is no longer there.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I even have the same thought about sitting like at level 16 when I first joined Legendaries at level 15 in Season 2. I had the same thing. I was like, oh, I'm coming up against a level 13 new kid. This guy, like, he chose the wrong like time to come into Legendary. Like he's gonna give me a 3-bar. But nowadays, if you see a level 13 new kid, it's like, oh fuck, this guy might actually fuck me up.
It's not even just that. It's even, especially with D-ranking right now, like I'll you know, start a match and the other guy's like rank 3200 and my brain tells me, all right, sick, free win. And then he's got level 6s. And it's like, what the, how? All right, cool.
Absolutely. It's talking about matchmaking and a little bit about D-ranking, but we'll just jump into our first topic here. What are your guys' thoughts about legendary matchmaking? And I know this has been a recurring topic in my last 3 episodes, But it really still is a new feature to the game. It's really only been out for almost 3 weeks now, and it's good and it's not good. But I want to hear your thoughts.
So I absolutely hate it because my I get clapped by everything across the board. Like sometimes I go against like a top 100 in like 3 bar, and then others I'll get wrecked by some 4,000 kid. And it's just, first of all, like, why am I getting paired up with 4,000 when I'm like 400 or 500, which already upsets me for the first time. And then the second thing I really hate about it is that bug where you don't see like what team they're on and that thing.
Or what level they are or anything.
Yeah, or what level they are. And if I see their level, that's like this. If I get paired up with a 13, I'm like, okay, this guy's probably like 4,000 or 5,000, maybe like 3,000 or 2,000, and then I'll just go in with like a big old ego, like, okay, I'm gonna easily 3 bar this guy. I'm gonna get my PvP pack in 2 wins. But then a lot of the time it's not like that, and then sometimes I'll get paired up with like 18s or 19s, and then I don't see what team they're on, so I'm like, oh, okay, this is and like I don't notice until like probably like 10 seconds in game. I'm like, oh, this guy's level 18 or 19. That's why this guy spammed 2 costs at me that are level 6. And I mean, they did that thing where I think it's within like 50 ranks or something, or 150 ranks. So that helps a lot, but other times I'll still get paired up with 4,000, and sometimes like when I 3-bar him, I feel bad. Earlier today, I got matched up with I think like 4,500, and he instantly spammed the rage emote, and I just felt bad for the kid because he pushed with everything he got, and I just Zen Carbon and Wendy'd everything.
Well, that's the thing, right? It's really hard to know, like, and this isn't. I won't steer the conversation away from what you want to talk about too much, but it would be really cool if there was a better communication system in the game, because I mean, spamming the rage emote or something like, and especially like if somebody plays, you know, like level or like a Gizmo Ike, like I want a way to message them in game, like don't use Gizmo Ike in PvP ever, like just don't do that. I didn't mean to interrupt if you weren't finished or not.
Oh yeah, I had one more thing. I just think the whole elo system is just garbage in itself, because it fluctuates too hard, and it favors more of losing. So if you lose against someone who's like way lower than you, you lose more ranks than you'll gain, versus beating someone who's a little higher than you.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
What I hate about it is like sometimes I'll get unlucky and get caught by like a 1,200 kid, and I'm in 400, and then now I'm in 550, and then I'm just like, well, that just ruined my mood, and I just I don't like that. I just wish it would be more. It would, like, if you're on a win streak, it wouldn't like push you so far behind. Like I'll win 4 or 5 games, climb like 60 ranks, lose 1 game to someone who's over 1,000, and then I'll lose all the ranks.
Well, I think like one of the big things too is with the season reset, the elo got reset. So everyone started legendary out again with the same amount of elo. Whereas if they would have just put you back into legendary with your elo, yeah, it would have set, like, everyone would have been kind of back to where they were anyways. But at least the elo would continue to build, so that if you lose to someone like that, you drop, but you don't drop as much because you still have a high like elo base.
I think. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say my thoughts mirror yours almost like almost identically, but I would add like from rank 250 to say 1,500 or so. I don't know if it's unpopular opinion or not, but like the play styles, regardless of theme, are like identical. Like you wait for 10 energy, you drop, you know, let's say Gunslinger Kyle or somebody that takes like a second to load up behind your new kid, and then the other person does it too, and it's kind of fucking boring. Like it's not like that in top like 250, you know, top like higher levels. There's like wacky ass fucking plays that happen, or lower levels where, you know, again, still wacky ass plays happen. So if I'm struggling for 1 meter for 3 minutes at say rank 900, it's not fun. It's like not interesting at all.
The game's definitely not as aggressive as it once was.
Yeah, I don't like this freaking level 6 Mimsy coming up to me with a level 5 fireball. right next to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I find I don't want to say it's in cause, but I find that like ever since the Mystic nerfs happened, it feels like every deck is almost trying to be like what a Mystic theme could be. So like if you're playing even my Adventure Sci-Fi deck, I run Sheriff Cartman and Enforcer Jimmy, and I want a slow play style from the back because I want to build up just as much as a Mystic player wants to build up.
Yeah, my cost is 2.8, but we were talking about pre going live. I don't know if you can throw it up. My deck's pretty generic, honestly, and I've just spent too much. I've invested too much time into getting all these cards to their level that it feels like it. I mean, it would take months to get. I don't know, on the same kind of. I mean, that's a 2.8 cost. You can see everything except for Enforcers, at least level 5. I just don't want to start over.
Yeah, no, I feel you, and then we'll touch on that a little bit more when we get to deck discussion. So I throw it back to the regular backdrop there. But yeah, no, there's definitely a problem in the mid-tier ranks right now with the mirroring play styles of, like you said, everyone building up that energy and then, you know, playing from the back behind the new kid, and then it's a meet in the middle and who wins the first push, and then once the first push is won, can you defend, or do you have to kind of give the bar and start for the second push? Like,
yeah. It's frustrating, but, you know, I keep holding on to hope that a lot of these things will get fixed.
Well, in my opinion, though, the matchmaking is definitely gotten better than what it was. I enjoy having the 150 both ways to grab my player, and I get to play more competitive matches. But when I was first in Season 2, I was probably a mid-2000 ranked player. And when you go up like 10 matches in a row to top 1,000 or top 500 players, it really isn't, like, I don't want to play anymore now that I've just spent half an hour and I still don't even have any progress on my PvP pack.
Yeah, I was going to say there's also, I don't know. So if I already have 4 phones destroyed and I'm facing against a rank 2000 and I'm ranked like 1200 or whatever, and I get a meter off, like, part of me values that I can give him a win, give him 3 bars, and then D-rank, which is kind of rewarding right now. So, I don't know. For me, it's kind of a mess.
Oh no, fuck that. If he's Adventure, I try to 3-bar him. I hate Adventure so much.
There's not many times that I have the opportunity to give out bars, and where I'm kind of sitting in the mid tiers, I'm always afraid that if I do try and give a bar, that the guy's going to push hard, and then I'm kind of screwed in a sense, because if they can push hard, then they might be able to steamroll their push into taking that 3rd bar from me. So that's always the scary part. But one of my favorite things right now is when you can find someone that's actually willing to give you 2 bars. So like, whether or not it's a teammate or it's not, I've definitely went up against quite a few level 18 or 19 new kids, and it's kind of just like, oh, a crying emoji, and then a thumbs up emoji, and then like maybe a thanks emoji, and they'll kind of do their push, and then I drop an assassin at the top behind their push, and my assassin goes for the bar. And if they give it to me and they do the thumbs up, then it's like, oh, thanks, you're giving me my bar, I'm going to get my pack. But I've definitely come across the players that, you know, as soon as I drop that assassin, it's like, oh, here's my 2-drop Heidi right in front of your assassin. I'm going to body block that. You're not even going to take 1 bar from me.
I mean, it's not entirely universal across all of the NAMBLA variations, but like the fart roll has worked pretty well for me a few times against like top 30 and shit.
Yeah, and I don't think I had that written in, but it's a good thing to touch on. So like, just as NAMBLA players and as teammates, we kind of have this rule where if you double fart to each other and the other guy responds with a double fart, it kind of means, you know, I'm gonna give you 2 bars, and then I'm gonna take the win. Like, depending on rank, if it's if it's a close match, sometimes it's a fight for the first bar, and then whoever wins gives the other person 2 and takes the last 2. But a lot of the time for me when that happens, it's, I'm going up against a level 18 top 50 player, and I just kind of take my 2 bars and automatically give that match because there's no way in hell I'm taking that 3rd bar.
I might have misunderstood, but in my experience, it's always fight for the first bar, and then if the top 50 player gets it, then that's when you would do the double fart, and if they do it back, you're cool, and then you just let them steamroll you. Because if you fight against somebody top 100 and you do get the first meter, that's when the game's actually a bit more of a rush. Finally, it's like, oh fuck, shit, am I going to be able to actually beat a top 100 right now?
Yeah, fair enough. I haven't had that experience yet to be able to do that. But like I said, most of the time they kind of just steamroll my first bar, and then I kind of try and take my 2 bars off them if they're going to give it.
Well, I mean, when I get I really like getting paired up with Adorna because the match is probably like 40 seconds at most, and we both get our bars.
Yeah.
If I ever get paired up with NAMBLA, like any NAM team, I usually give them the 3 bars and just all I care about is my 2 bars, and let's just go to the next game. But I get really salty when I go against someone in NAMBLA or someone else who doesn't like do the fart agreement. I mean, I know it's at discretion, but come on, I'm gonna give you 3 bars anyways. All I just want is 2 bars to get on with my pack, but no, you just want to scumbag me. So I usually rage quit.
I mean, I get both sides of it. Like, sometimes, like, I mean, if you've put in the time and the money to be top 50, I can totally understand, like, time being of the essence. Like, maybe you're on break at work. Like, I'm not gonna, I mean, I don't necessarily agree or disagree, but I can see I understand there's a rule in place, but I'm at break at work. No, this kid's getting wrecked, and then I'm gonna play the next match and get your lockers or whatever.
So on the other flip side of that, I've had players outside of the team where I've tried to, like I said, drop my assassin and go for my bars, and then I immediately get body blocked. Well, that's when I actually go full try hard mode, and my entire goal is to only give you 2 bars.
Have either of you ever been faked out by anything? Like,
no.
I can expand on that. It was somebody in our team, and they said they didn't do it on purpose. They were just burning a card, which is also fair if it was just coincidence. But oh my god, I had gotten 2 meters, and I don't think they had gotten any. And then we were both just waiting for energy to recharge, like you would. And then he threw Purify or something on my guy, and I was like, oh cool, he's throwing the match. So I just threw out a bunch of random shit, wasted all my energy, and then he proceeded to take all 3 meters.
Dang, that sounded like... Oh, sorry. That sounded like one of the games I played. I forgot who I played with on the team, but for some reason I thought the fart agreement was you take 2, I take 2, then we fight for the last one. So I did that, and I let him take 2, and then I took 2, and then I proceeded to go full ham for the last one, and something didn't seem right, so I forced the game into a draw by just playing Zen Cartman and just a bunch of like fat dudes. And then he raged at me in chat. He's like, "Come on, dude." And then I told him, it's like, isn't that what the fart game was? And then I told him, I was like, well, since I thought something was wrong, I tried to end the game in a draw, so neither of us loses. Because we were both, I think he was probably like 50 ranks above me. And then I think I was like 350 and he was about 300. Or it was 250 to 200. But he eventually understood that, like, well, I didn't like entirely get it. So he said sorry. But I felt kind of bad because I didn't get it right.
I mean, shit happens. Like within our team, like if I fight against anybody within any type of NAMBLA, I'm not gonna get tilted more than likely unless something super scummy happened. It's outside of that. Like I said, like if I got Purify juked, which will never ever happen again, outside of NAMBLA, I'd be absolutely furious.
I remember one time I played against Epic. I think we were in like low 1000, and I forgot something happened. But then I think he bodied me. And I think he took 3 bars, or he just won the match. I got super pissed off at that game. It's like, fuck! I should have won that. Something would have happened. Should have happened. Mystic needs to not get nerfed.
It's funny though. Like I had a weird instance the other night. I was playing and I matched up against About to Punt. And so we both played out for the first bar, and he took the first bar from me. So then I did the double fart, and he did the double fart, and I was like, cool, like you took the first bar, you're gonna give me 2 bars. And so like he gave me 2 bars, and then we sat there for energy for so long, and it got to 10. So then I played, you know, Heidi in the back, thinking, oh, he's gonna rush me or something. Like, I don't know, I have to play a card maybe. And I still didn't play anything. So then, you know, like Heidi got to the midline and he still didn't play anything. So I was like, okay, so now he's at like a 4 energy loss. So then I played a couple more cards and I took that 3rd bar and I messaged him and I was just like, yo, like, I thought we were going to do the fart. Like, you know, you won. I was going to give you 2. You were going to take the last 2. And he was like, oh, no, man, like, I don't even care about my rank. I just needed one bar to finish my pack, and I don't do PvP refreshes, so I know that you do PvP refreshes, so I just kind of let you take all 3.
That's kind of chill.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it threw me right off though, because I was like, holy shit, like, why aren't you playing the game right now? Did you AFK? Like, should I take advantage of this? Like, I don't want to destroy your rank or anything, because you're definitely he was ranked higher than me. But yeah, no, afterwards he messaged me, and it was funny because he actually sent me a screenshot. He's like, 1 second, you'll like this. And he sent me a screenshot. He had matched Gert the match before me and literally had the exact same question from Gert, and then sent me a screenshot from his Discord chat with Gert.
I mean, it's rules that we're making up ourselves. You know, there's no way to talk in game, so it's hard to say. Like I'll do a status effect on myself if I'm gonna throw the match. I'll poison myself, like on my own new kid. Be like, here, kill me. Like, you can have it.
I wish I had that luxury. I think I only have Regen and Purify, and if I don't have either of those, I can't really say, hey, I'm throwing the match. Because my only other card is Energy Staff, Electric Pull.
If I don't have...
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah, go ahead. I'm done.
Oh, my bad. If I don't have poison in my hand, I'll throw like Kyle, Gunslinger Kyle probably, and I'll put him like midfield and then play no other cards. And then if the dude's just getting shot by Kyle, it's like, you can stop this with any card in the game right now. Like, go, please do.
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of do the same thing. If I'm really just going to throw a match, it's like I'll throw, and I did this more when there were Silver Shields trying to get into Legendary, but I'll just throw Captain Wendy right at the midline, and it's kind of like, if you're not going to attack her by the time I get that 3 energy back, I'm probably going to play another card, because right now she's just going to take your bar.
Mm-hmm.
I had fun helping others get into Legendary. I remember if I would get paired up with anybody who didn't play Adventure, who was 1 star away from Legendary, I just spam thanks or good game, and this was back then when I played like Powerbind and Purify, so I'd just be able to just use it willy nilly, and I'd give them the 3 bars, and I don't know, I just felt kind of happy getting someone else into Legend because you get all those rewards and stuff.
I was going to kind of bring up Silver Shields just before we move on to the next topic, but what did you guys think of when you gave a win, like you gave a 3-bar win to the Silver Shield to get them, you know, 1 step closer to Legendary, and they didn't understand how to take 3 bars? Like, and what I mean by that is like when they, you know, throw 10 mana on the board at once, and then it gets blown away by the first shockwave, and then you're sitting there and they're waiting for their mana to build up, and you're like, okay, so you probably could have did that with 1 ranged character and 1 fighter, and then had mana for the 2nd bar to drop 2 assassins, and then mana for the 3rd bar to drop something else just to clear it off. But that used to just like irk me when I was giving Silver Shields the win, and it was like, okay, you really don't understand how to take 3 bars off me in 45 seconds? Like, come on.
I mean, some of them are Silver Shields for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, my answer is pretty quick. I've never given a win to a Silver Shield. Like I said earlier, I stayed in silver so long. Like, I don't trust that shit. Like,
no, sometimes
earn your way into Legendary.
Sometimes I would legitimately fight against like a 13 or 14 kind of Silver Shield, and I would legitimately lose to them, and it would just like ruin my day. But then I would just have to tell myself, it doesn't affect your rank. But then in my mind, I'm just like, dude, I just lost to some dude. He's not even in Legend.
Yeah, it affects your pride.
More frustrating for me, like the absolute. This is steering the conversation away a little bit, but for me, the only thing that is actually would get me tilted in this game is when and maybe I've mentioned it before, but if I'm fighting someone top 150-ish and I get maybe the first meter, even the first 2 meters, and they haven't touched me, and somehow they pull off the win by either I'm playing dumb or they do something brilliant, that's like the only thing in this game that pisses me off. It's like, fuck, I could have had that, but well.
Yeah, bad mistakes on your own end are the worst because then you beat yourself
Yeah.
up.
The only thing I hate about this game is adventure. The thing needs to get nerfed to the ground. I'm Mystic, and I've had all my stuff nerfed from the start. We had our assassins nerfed. First of all, they're epic, so they're garbage. We've had electric full staff or nerfed. What else have we had nerfed?
I'm gonna get kicked off the team, but Mystic needed a fucking nerf.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree. I just don't.
Zen needed a nerf.
I don't think Mystic needed the nerf that it got. I think it needed a nerf.
Yeah.
And I think all 3 cards at once in the second round was way too much because it basically just like shat all over the deck of somebody that was running those 3 spell cards.
Yeah, I actually ran all those 3 cards, and I went from rank like 600 to 2500 in the matter of like 12 hours.
It's hard to say, like, in the same value that you say, like, you know, fuck adventure. Like, just imagine Zen Cartman and like Friar Jimmy and Regeneration before the update.
Oh, fuck Mystic.
Okay. So that's fine. That's okay. That doesn't always win games. It doesn't always lose games. But adventure has the most like unbalanced. They have whatever any other class can do. Adventure will do it better. Besides probably healing. So if you need AoE wave clear, you got Fireball. Fireball will just kill everybody from the start. If you have level 5 Fireball, it'll kill level 5 fighters. If you need single target removal, you got Lightning Bolt. I think it's gonna kill everything.
Adventure,
even at level.
What about healing though? How do we heal?
Who needs to heal when you can just spam 2 cost?
I just want to say,
we could throw out Sharon. But like, why the fuck would you use Sharon?
Everyone says, like, you know, why the fuck would you want Sharon? And I completely agree. Who's gonna play a Sharon card? I think everyone's got to.
But I mean,
she's bad.
But
I mean, from
I think
a balance perspective, they have the most cost-efficient cards in the game. Like Fireball can kill like up to like 12 to 15 energy worth of units just by just flicking it. Usually it trades off like 6 or 7 energy, but that's still pretty broken.
Yeah, no, like I totally agree with you that adventure is definitely in terms for either having other themes buffed around it or being nerfed at some point. But I just I can't really grasp my thought there that I was going for. Do you have something there, OniChris?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, and it's probably an unpopular opinion, I definitely think that Mystic got more of a nerf than it should have. I agree with HeroKing on that. But to say that Adventure is that OP, I respectfully just disagree. We're missing a lot of elements that we need, and either we have to run Adventure / also Mystic. But like for myself, I mean, I'm Adventure Sci-Fi, so I can't heal at all. My tanks aren't great unless I run a neutral tank. Right now, it's just because Poison's really strong. It's kind of killing. It's like we're doing really well with that, but Fireball. I can't even think of the last time I've been fireballed. Honestly,
Fireball was like a big thing in Season 2, I think. And then whatever silent nerf to the area damage that they did that like kind of made it harder to play Fireball. It's less of a hindrance for me. Like when I go up against an adventure player now, my first thought used to be, oh, I better not group my cards together because he probably has Fireball. But now it's kind of like, well, maybe I'll do my first push group together and see if I can draw out the Fireball. And if it's not there, well, fuck him. I'm gonna push really hard.
I think in HeroKing's defense, Poison is only 3 energy and basically acts like Fireball because Purify got nerfed so bad.
Yes.
So I could agree to that.
It's okay. It's okay. I don't really use Poison even though like I have it accessible. I just think it's not instant. So I mean I know it's not garbage, but I just think it's garbage.
It's dot, right? So I don't know if you've played other games that have that kind of dot style gameplay, but it's slow. So in terms of like an AQR, You want to play that AQR when there's 4 units being spawned at their new kid, and you can play your AQR behind your new kid, because what you've done is you've made it very, very slow push with the AQR being so far back, but you've given yourself enough time that their 4 units are going to have to cross the whole board to get to her, and by that time they're pretty much all going to be dead.
This is a weird, I absolutely agree, but I just wanted to kind of lay out like a sort of a weird anecdote or thought. My AQR is currently level 4. She's not in my deck until I max her out at 5 right now. I just think there's a funny phenomenon for me specifically, aesthetically. Even though they're all using stupid toys and stuff, I think her dumb little noodle looks so weak and shitty. Like I don't want to like throw her out. Like it feels weird.
Dude, I fucking love throwing her out and making her die to a 2 cost, and I'm like, wow, this is very, very good, very cost efficient.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like her, like if I'm struggling, she was in my deck until I think this morning. At 4, and then I put program stand back.
She's super squishy.
Her, yeah, I'm using her, and she only has a 23 damage per second. Like, she doesn't have a 30, but I'm doing fine with her.
Well, I have Poison and Alien Clyde, so...
I only use Alien Clyde and Alien Queen.
That's me too, because my poison's underleveled, so in terms of having poison cards, I'd much rather play AQR, because she's really only missing 4 or 5 damage from the actual poison spell card, and you get a unit, plus if you play her at the right time, you can take like 10 energy for 5.
Yeah, I was gonna segue off of you talking about DOTs. My poison is level 5, and it is it's a monster card for 3 energy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, sure, you could purify probably one of the units, but like anything else that's getting touched by it in the game, except for maybe like Zen or another tank, gets wasted by it.
I mean, it's
Absolutely.
only
before even midfield.
It's only 300 damage, so like fighters will live, assassins die, marksmen die. So it's only fighters and tanks that live. That's why I don't play it.
Yeah, Clyde and AQR have longer times, right? So I think Alien Clyde at max level 5 does like over 800 damage over his 20 seconds.
It does exactly 800 damage.
Yeah, and then AQR, I think her timer is like a minute 20 or something stupid. So it's not like any cards are gonna live that long with her 23 damage per second.
I mean, I've had
5 energy versus 3 energy too, though.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
I've had units live Alien Queen's poison for it to just wear off. I think this was back when I played Regen and Hallelujah, and it got thrown on a Zen Cartman, and I honestly just wanted to see how long I can keep it alive. So I double Hallelujah'd him, and Regen him, and it just wore off on itself. So I know it's not permanent. I don't know if the update changed it for it to be permanent. Well, but I know before the bug feature update, it wasn't permanent.
When I was playing the PvE levels in Sci-Fi, when you go up against an Alien Queen Red, whether it's the boss or she's just in the level, I always found that like if I could keep my units alive, and I run Mystic for my PvE deck because why wouldn't you want heal on long levels like that? But I found, like you said, eventually it does wear off, but there's a lot of timer on that.
She's a status card, though. I mean, she's so weak. Like it's a 5 energy poison. It's just a buffed poison. Like she'll take 2 hits from probably like a level 4 anybody.
Well, she's really cost efficient if you think about it. So poison itself costs 3 energy. So if you put it with Alien Queen, you're getting a 2 cost body with a 3 cost poison that's never ever gonna miss or wear off. So that's the main reason why I run her.
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, again, and like I said, I'll definitely be switching once I get her to rank 5, which should be in a couple weeks, maybe a little bit less. I recognize that, but you know, she fights with a pool noodle, so.
Yeah, the reason, I mean, I think I look at this game a lot differently than other people. I look at everything as cost efficiency. So like, Alien Queen, I think it's really cost efficient. Because of that, you're getting a 2 cost body. I actually happen to think Pope to me is actually really good. Because if you if you revive a unit that costs 3, then you're getting a 4 cost body for a 3 cost resurrect. And I used to run Pope Timmy, and I climbed from 2,000 to like 800 with it. because I would resurrect Zen Cartman or Alien Clyde. And with that, I get even more cost efficiency. So I'll get a 3-body, a 4-body, and then I'll kill one of their 3 bodies. So I get like 10 energy worth of stuff.
When you res Alien Clyde, do you get the cast ability again?
Yeah, you get the cast ability.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I was gonna say that's brilliant. Like, I haven't, like, every time I see Pope Timmy, it's a silver resing MVP. Like,
and that's like the main strategy for Pope Timmy for most players is to go for Man-Bear Pig. But really, if you think about the breakdown, like you just said, of what's cost efficient with Pope Timmy, then as long as you're getting a card that has some sort of war cry or charge that you can use, you are really getting a lot of cost out of Pope Timmy.
Yeah, as long as you're not requesting like a dumbass 2 cost, then you'll be doing fine with it. I used to resurrect Alien Queen with her, and it's sometimes hard to use because he's 7 energy, but then you're getting a 2-body Pope Timmy, then you're getting a 2-body Alien Queen, then you're getting a 3-body Poison, and whatever you kill, that's more plus for you.
I would love to sidebar really quick from the topics that we have lined up, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Do you guys recall it? I'm assuming it happened to you, going up against MVP for the first time and like freaking out, and now it's like a fucking joke card. Like,
yeah,
you see him and you're like, oh hell yeah, free win, like free meter.
You know what?
Talking a couple months ago, it was like, oh fuck, what the hell?
Yeah, well, like talking about that. So I have a Smurf account myself, and it's adventure locked. It's about a level 8 new kid or a level 9 new kid, and it's sitting about rank 30. And when I was like a level 4 new kid, probably like not even this week that just passed, I went up against my first Man-Bear Pig, and I realized that my deck was not built around, because it's all adventure cost themes. Like, the only thing I had was to throw rats and whatnot at it. But like at that low level with level 2s and 3 commons, Man-Bear Pig's still really good. Like,
I think maybe early game, if you are a player that gets lucky enough to get, let's say, your early-ish silver, and you get like a level 2 Man-Bear Pig, he might be viable, but otherwise I think he sucks dick. Like,
oh yeah,
he's a terrible card.
When I see him in Legendary, it's just rats, and then rats chew him up with like a Sally next to him.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say one more thing about Pope Timmy. He regens all your rats. So I think if it's like most of your rats die, you can Pope Timmy and you get all 4 of them.
So we can. I don't mean to. At some point in the future, if I'm ever reinvited to this or whatever, I would be interested to talk about rats versus pigeons versus gnomes, etc.
Yeah, I think that would be definitely a wicked topic, and to talk about the different critter cards. And I honestly think if you're going to talk about critter cards, grouping in the Amazingly Randy is also a critter card in a sense. And what could be like how could he be better to be matched up with the other critter cards?
Yeah, it confuses me because like in our Discord, in the NAMBLA or NAMBLINGS, the Discord, I've asked multiple times, like, I have something like 400 pigeon cards, and I want to get them super strong because I'll go against another, say, rank 800, 900, and their pigeons will fuck me up if I don't have poison in my hand. But everybody else in our clan is like, pigeons are garbage.
Well, the reason behind that is because pigeons are for defending only. You can't push with pigeons. Like if they throw like a bunch of melees on your field, then you can pigeon them, and then that forces them to play a range unit, and then you can just throw an assassin to kill that. But you can't push with pigeons. That's the reason why everyone says it's garbage.
Yeah, you don't want to have an aggressive deck built with a pigeon card, but whereas HeroKing plays a lot of Mystic cards, Zen Cartman and pigeons works really well because you just suck in all the fighters and pigeons just eat them up.
Okay.
I miss Global Zen Cartman.
Global Zen Cartman. Was that like really early? Because I can't recall that.
That was season 1. His AoE would be the entire field.
Yeah, season 1 Zen was.
I remember it being big, but not the whole field.
It was nearly the whole field, but there's like nothing. It would be over a 5.5 Or it'd be over 5 range, so like a Nathan would be attracted to hitting Zen Cartman.
Jeez. I'm gonna segue into our next topic though, just because we kind of got off the rails there with legendary matchmaking and just started talking about cards, which is fine. But what did you guys think about the second team event that we've just had on the weekend and the Robo Bebe event? And I just kind of want to know what your guys' thoughts are. What was your thoughts on the drop rate of a common card in the event packs? When do you think that she'll enter rotation? Like, how long will we be waiting? And is there anyone on Namblings right now that is requesting her and trying to level her up? And are either of you guys helping her with, or helping them with getting her leveled up?
You can go first this time.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll start because I know you'll have a lot to say about Robo. Hold on, let me go over that in my head really quick. As far as the team events go, I love them. They're great. It's incredibly gratifying. It brings me a reason to like play at least for a couple of days because I do refresh packs. So I'll immediately help with the other whales or pay to win or whatever, you know. Within the first few hours that it launches, I'll refresh all of my packs so that the team gets, or the Namblings get all of the points immediately, and that's gratifying. I love helping my team get the packs themselves. I don't have a particularly strong opinion on RoboBebe. HeroKing, I'll allow him to talk about who's requesting it on our team right now. I have her currently at level 3 because I think I got decently lucky with the drop rate, which is total shit. But I also bought a couple of those like $400, not US dollars, only because my girlfriend's in the room, but 400 South Park dollars. Yeah.
400 cash.
Yeah. So I have her at level 3. I haven't played her yet. I don't plan on putting her in my deck until she's at least level 4, and then I would love to experiment with her. But HeroKing, I think you'll be better at this subject. I'm gonna take a piss.
Yeah, I call it carbon cash. So my girlfriend doesn't like, you spend cash on this game. but I freaking, so Robo Baby she's a really good card. So like, she's a marksman, so she just has to be chilling behind a tank or behind something stupid. And so with my deck, I play a bunch of like fighters, Zen Cartman, and just a bunch of marksmen. So I compared her to, well, first, there's not a lot of 3-cost marksmen. So there's like Angel Wendy, there's like a bunch of like Timmys, and Robo Baby is the first one. Well, the second one in sci-fi, unless you count visitors.
Yeah, I would definitely count Wendy in that too in Adventure.
Yeah,
she's a 3-drop range card.
But then she's not like the most played in there. So
fair enough. Yeah, Gunslinger Kyle is definitely played more just being a common.
Yeah, and they don't really use him for his tag. They just use him for his active. But so I'm just gonna start off with my drop rate. My drop rate was garbage. I got her out of 2 packs, the second to last pack and the last pack because it was guaranteed. But I think I only got like 6 or 7 copies of it. Yeah, and I was really tilted the entire event because I think most of my team packs didn't give one, and then most of my regular packs didn't get one. I think I was like 5 or 6 packs in, and I was just like raging in chat. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? It's a common. How come I can't pull it? Like other people are pulling it on their first, second pack, and I'm like, this is my theme. This is one of the cards I've been waiting for a long time, because I got tired of playing Mecha Timmy because he would always get lightning bolted or just get some like hook hand, and then I just got out traded with energy, or he'd get alien collided or just something stupid that would just like make him not cost efficient, or he'd get like power binded and then he's just a useless beater behind. And I tried playing Terrence. Terrence was cool because I had Cupid Cartman, and I would just get 2 flyers, but he wasn't leveled up enough, so I just wasn't satisfied with him. And then the key time for Alien, or no, what's it called, for Terrence is really long, and I'm not trying to hop in on that. So I just used visitors, and I'm using visitors now until I finish Alien Queen, so I can move on to Robo Bebe. But in our team, we have 3 people requesting her. We got, his name is like Tweak or something, and then we got one other dude requesting him. I don't know his name, but I just know I seen like another name, and it was me. I requested her. I think when a few people were just like, I got some extra Robo Bebes, just request a few. And I got up to 62 copies right now, and I'm just waiting to finish Alien Queen so I can get it to level 4. But I'm just short hella gold items. But she's I would compare her to visitors, because visitors can kill rats is if like one of the unit is nearby, because their attack speed.
Well, their damage per second is really high.
Yeah, it's really visitors are really good. And it would take 2 rat hits to kill rats, or to kill visitors, and sometimes you can just 1v1 rats. But I think I'm just mumbling on. I forgot where I was going with this. But
No.
Robo Baby is just a really good card.
It's cool.
It's really cost-efficient.
So basically, I've thrown a cutout of the level 5 Robo Baby that was in my deck on last Wednesday when I got to showcase her in my Robo Baby stream. So she was 46 out of 55, level 5. She has 66 attack and 285 health. So overall, for a range card, like, she's really good. In comparison to maybe like my Gunslinger Kyle, I think she's got about like 20 more attack at level 5. So that's just really good overall. And then when in terms of her speed, and my own personal opinion of being able to play with her at level 5 in a competitive setting is that her speed boost is almost, I want to say it's half of a Butters speed boost. So when Astronaut Butters dies and you get the Death Wish, it'd probably be about half of that increase is what she gets every time she gets a hit. And I want to say that she caps out at maybe 4 or 5 hits. She doesn't get any faster. But if you think about it, if they're half of what Butters speed boost is, by the time you get 4, you've had 2 Butters speed boosts to your attack. And it's really, really beneficial because I really don't think it goes down very often. So I pulled my level 5 Gunslinger Kyle, who is also 46 out of 55, and the difference is 51 attack and 209 health to 66 attack and 285. So it's a big difference, and I would say that in terms of what his charge is and then what her ability is, they're actually pretty even in a sense because both are very, very beneficial for my deck. But that being said, I kind of want to know what your guys' thoughts on the transparency from Red Links for the YouTubers getting Robo Bebe. So there was a lot of outcry in the community in terms of the YouTubers getting a level 5 Robo Bebe cards to use on their streams. A lot of people thought that, hey, why should they get this card and they get to keep it? How is that fair? But unfortunately, Red Links actually never communicated to the YouTubers, to us, that we were going to get to keep or what we were getting from this if we were just getting to create content. And they actually pulled the card 24 hours after they gave it to us and only left us with 15 copies after that with nothing to upgrade, no mats or coins, which I think is completely fair because I wasn't looking to keep a level 5 card that was gifted to me from Red Links when everyone else can't even get her from drop rates. But at the same time, how is that fair for Red Links to drop this card on us and not actually give us any information about, how long are we going to get this card and what do we get to use her for, and is she as ours to keep or is she not? Because we were all asking, we didn't want the community to think that we were getting special treatment from Red Links. So I kind of want to see what you guys think about that.
I'm happy to go first, unless you want to, HeroKing.
No, you good. I don't have a lot to say about this one.
I'm a bit more of an optimistic person, or just like less like obviously earlier on you could tell I don't get tilted particularly often. It didn't bother me as much. In fact, what bothered me more is that one of the season 2 rewards, I believe it was, for like legendary was the chance of getting visitors, which not even, I think, like less than a week before was given out on the official stream as like a super special thing, and I kind of wanted visitors to always be this incredibly special card that only like either really lucky or really elite sort of players got to have. That was a bit more frustrating when they were just like, oh yeah, now they drop. RoboBebe to YouTubers, it's frustrating because not everybody is a content creator, but from a business standpoint, it just makes sense. I wouldn't say that exact same defense argument if we were talking about how much shit costs, or drop, like, not drop rate necessarily, but in terms of giving it to YouTubers specifically. I get it. You know, if PewDiePie's playing Phone Destroyer, like, you already know, of course you want to give him RoboBebe so people can want it and then spend money on it or whatever. From a business aspect, I totally get it and respect it as like somebody who is familiar with marketing. So that didn't really bother me as much. But you were talking about the transparency of it, and that does bother me. Red Links, I feel, is very around the community, very aware of our concerns, or the majority concerns. I think that they're doing a really decent job at being unbiased towards themes, etc. But yeah, I know for a fact that they read these comments, and I would love to be a fly inside of a meeting where they're like, hey, everybody hates this, what do we do? You know, like, I don't know, let's just see what happens. Like, I don't want to say anything bad because I like the game a lot, but it's really like, I would love to be in that meeting where they're like, hey, everybody hates this, but like, it's not even justifiable for their paychecks. Like, the game's pulling in a ton of money already. It just, to me, that part doesn't make sense. The transparency bothers me.
Yeah,
the YouTuber
absolutely.
part doesn't.
Absolutely, and like you said, it would be funny to be in that meeting, you know, where they have to come back and say, you know what, we've been looking at different communities through Reddit and Discord, and the outcry is just insane, and everyone's so mad at these YouTubers, and it's something that we've done. Like, what do we do about it? And the board of directors is probably sitting back, and they're like, well, how many RoboBebe packs did we sell? And it's probably like, well, here's the number. And it's like, well, at the end of the day, it was a good advertising. It was free marketing. So I don't think it was a bad decision. And it's like, I don't really have a good solution. How do you kind of dance around the fact that that's what we're going to say as a business, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'd love to hear your opinion, HeroKing.
My opinion's really different than most people. I didn't really give a shit. I just wanted to see her being played. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. She's worth leveling up. I think the only reason why they pulled the card was because they got so much backlash. They're like, oh shit, we pissed off a lot. Let's take the card back. But I think by then it was already too late. Everyone was still pissed. Like, man, they got to play with it anyways.
Yeah, and like, that's where the transparency comes in. So if Buck would have said right off the bat, here's the card, you're getting it for 24 hours, you can tell all the community that you're getting it for 24 hours, and we're going to pull it right after that, and so make your content in the next 24 hours. But unfortunately, with that not being said, like you said, when they did pull the card, it almost seems to the community now that it was like, oh, well, we bitched about it, and now it got pulled. So good thing we did, because if we didn't, they'd be having these level 5 RoboBebes running a mess around the legendary ladder.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think... I kind of hope they do that more in the future, because like, when that Jew Ike or that Incan Craig comes out, I hope to see more. I hope to see play with it right away. So I don't want to just like be going around for them like, hey, who's got this card? I want to see some gameplay with it, because it was like that for visitors. So
Yes,
the very first visitors event.
If you didn't watch Average Guy play his visitors, then really you had no idea what visitors was doing.
I literally had no idea visitors existed, because in that event they didn't even say visitors were coming. They just said like a special card might come or something.
See, I actually think that I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I actually feel like content creators got shit on from that move more than like the rest of the user base, because somebody in chat pointed out the same thing. Is I at some point in my life I only watch one type of Let's Play. It doesn't matter who it is, but I don't watch Let's Plays. But a while back, before Outlast, the original Outlast, even came out, they gave it to Markiplier or PewDiePie or somebody that I don't care to watch. Normally, not saying anything bad against them. It's just not my not my thing.
No,
and
you
I
don't
was
like
like,
them.
yeah, or no, whatever. Actually, met Mark is really nice. But I was like, oh, cool, all right, great. So they got early access. I can just watch this video of whoever playing it, and then I can decide whether or not I'm going to use my money towards this. And then if they, like, let's say in a real life scenario that I'm not sure who the developer for Outlast is, but if they sent an agent to like Markiplier's house and then took the game the next day, and they're like, "Nah, you can't have it anymore," that would suck. Like, that would suck for them more than us.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
All right, well, I think I don't know. I think it's just really healthy in the game to do, because so a lot of, if you want to compare it to like other, like if you send it to like streamers for them to play like early, like it helps people, because like sometimes people don't have a lot of money, sometimes people don't have that $50 to buy a game. Like me and my girlfriend, we both really liked The Last of Us, but neither of us has a PlayStation, and neither of us really wants to buy one just to go play that game. So we're just like, well, fuck it, let's just watch all the cutscenes and some gameplay, and we'll just get enough satisfaction off of that. Because I'm not gonna spend $500 just to play this one game or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think it's healthy like that, like for this game, because well, I don't want to spend my freaking 200 silvers and my 50 golds just to get this card to level 5, because for it to not even be viable. Because I know a lot of people leveled up like some dumbass cards, and it's just like, oh, I'm in legend now, and it's not good. I mean, I have a lot of that. I leveled up my electric pole. I'm just like, oh, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't last longer. And
You
then
talking
I
about
leveled
your
up.
energy staff?
Yeah, energy staff. I don't know. I think electric pole is kind of funny to say, because people are like,
Oh, I was like, all right, you could do that on your own time, man. Like, you charge your electric staff later.
yeah, exactly. But I leveled up. I'm like, well, I just wasted like 5 silvers, and sometimes 5 silvers is just. Sometimes it's that one upgrade that'll give you that one like extra 0.25 seconds of something. Yeah, exactly. Waste of materials. And I leveled up like program sand to like level 2 max epic, and I'm like, well, I want all those materials back. The sucky thing about this game is like you can't uncraft your cards. Like if you can uncraft your cards for like 75, even 50% of your materials, it's okay. Like I wouldn't be complaining about any of this, but I leveled up a lot of dumb cards that I wish I didn't. Like all my legendaries are level 2 max. So that's a lot of materials like invested to something that's not viable. Like I got Grand Wizard, I got Shield Maiden Wendy, that drunk Randy, I forgot his name. 6 Element Randy.
Yeah, 6 Element.
I got Moon Gave Me Power, and Inuit Kenny, and like all those materials.
Stand of Many Bros is who you're talking about. Yeah, he's the broest.
Yeah, and like all those materials I can't like get back, but that's why I think something like this it's really good for. I think it's really healthy. I wouldn't give a shit if they kept it or not, because I'm like, well, all I care about is my copies. Like, if they got to keep it, then. But
if I just want to play devil's advocate for like 3 seconds,
yep.
There's literally a warning when you start the game up, not to play it or spend money on it.
That's so true, and I've definitely
Like, oh, yeah.
I've seen that before, and I've heard people say that before. Like, at the end of the day, there's a warning that comes up. It's the same warning that comes up that says you should not watch this show when you watch an episode of South Park. It's a warning that says don't spend money on this game and don't pay money on it. Like, don't play this game at all. So like, as a South Park fan member, you're actively making the choice to go against that warning by playing this game. But I kind of want to touch on one thing that you said there, HeroKing, about breaking down cards for materials, because Abiogenesis on one of his streams, I think with Lixie or Adorna in the interview, actually touched on rainbow material. So if you break a card down to get materials back, you have this rainbow material that can actually be used in any theme. Now, when you break that card down, you obviously wouldn't get a full refund on all of your materials, but let's say you got 70 or 80% of your materials back.
Dude, that would be so broken.
You could put those materials in any theme. And yeah, and there's two sides to the coin for sure, because I thought about that too. Because all you'd have to do, you could get so much experience, but you'd be wasting a lot of coins by upgrading themes that you have cards in, and then breaking them down for rainbow. So I don't play fantasy myself. I just collect my fantasy cards and then donate them, and I've got like a stack pool of over 400 fantasy mats, silver mats, over 200 gold, and like over 600 silver, or bronze, I mean. So I could just dump those into fantasy cards, break them down, have rainbow materials, and then put them into my cards.
I think if you guys look at chat, brilliant points, and I think everybody, at least everybody active, appears to agree with it. If PvE would just refresh, it would fix the problem entirely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I whenever I was grinding for Program Stan, and this sticks out because it was so frustrating. I beat every single level of every single possible sci-fi thing, and then also for whatever reason, every single adventure thing, just because I was like, oh fuck it, whatever, I'm already doing PvE, let me get the coins. I maxed out on all sci-fi, all adventure, and I was at I was one Program Stan away, and then it took me I think about 16 days to get my last card.
In the shop, or did you get it in a pack?
Ooh, kill him.
I believe it was in the shop.
Yeah, so that's difficult. I think that when you first start the game and you look at the PvE levels, it's very overwhelming to see, 60 to 80 levels that have 15 levels inside those levels for difficulty. But I think the longer you play the game, the more you realize that, it's really not that bad. If I grind the same level over and over until it gets harder and harder, I actually learn the ins and outs of the level. I know where opponents are going to spawn. I can cut them off before they even spawn. Like, it gets almost easier the more you play the same level over and over, obviously, with consistency. And then you end up maxing everything out really quickly. So like on my main account right now, I've finished all of Adventure, all of Sci-Fi, and most of Mystical except for like the last 3 levels in the final block. So I can't actually go back and, like you said, grind more materials or more cards from those levels. So it would be really nice to see that, like you said, more at levels added, or however they want to do that.
It would just require a reset. And you know what, the reset could even be harder because your cards would be better. Like, it would be, the thing is that wouldn't make Red Links any money, is what I think the issue is.
Yeah.
So perhaps if there could be some type of incentive for Red Links, like, I agree, it does get easier. I beat the game, or the story mode, quite some time ago. So actually this morning, just to see, I fucked up level 60 Cartman at like rank 3 or something.
Wait, what?
I was just saying that if Red Links wanted to do PvE resets so that we could grind materials without having to do PvP over and over and over, or spend real life money, that would be fine. My point is, I think it's difficult for Red Links to make the decision because PvE doesn't make them any money.
Yeah, it hurts the bottom line.
If nothing else, why not cost 200 cash to reset 1500 or all 15 ranks, or whatever you would call them?
That's not a bad idea, and like you said, difficulties could increase.
Yeah, make it 200 cash, reset or you know what, fuck it, make it 400, reset the entire every single level in that theme, and Red Links gets potential money. Make up the difficulty like another tier, so it's funner and challenging. And I think people tend to get less tilted when the computer beats them than when another player beats them. So if you get annoyed at the game, it would also increase the longevity of it, because you could just jump back into PvE and fuck up Cartman again, instead of just getting your ass beat by level 12s for no reason.
Yeah, exactly. And the main thing there is that, like you said, you'd pay cash to do it, and like even if it wasn't a whole theme for 400 cash, like even if a block was 400 cash, 400 cash, like it's a lot for a free-to-play player, but for a whale, it's really not a whole lot of cash. And a block is still 5 levels with 15 difficulties. So realistically, there's quite a bit of loot. And if they were like really generous, they could even upgrade the lockers after you refresh the cache.
Yeah, I would say it's kind of an anomaly, because when I went into this, I was like, yeah, there's no solution, but that solution I feel would be perfect. It makes them money. It gives us more materials, both whales and free to play, even if they have to grind or whatever. That absolutely, I don't know if it's been brought up. I don't tune into all of the streams, but you know, set an amount of cash to reset a block of PvE, and I'm going to be right back.
Yeah, no, I've never actually heard that before, so it's definitely something that when I get off the stream here, I'm going to make known to Buck and Steve in our YouTube Discord and just kind of call them out and see what they think of it, because I think that's a really good idea. But we've kind of been talking about some of the personal changes that we'd like to make to the game. Is there anything else that you guys would like to see other than what we've talked about?
Well, I just gotta, like, it's not really, I don't think it's relevant to whatever we're talking about, but I think if Red Link stops trying to force money out of things, I think they'll be making money. I think they'll be doing okay with making money if they just like work on balance of the game. Because when you look at a lot of like other like free to play games, I play League of Legends, so I look at that like the most. There is nothing in that game where it requires you to like pay money to play. Like you don't have to like you're not forced to unlock a champion with, like $10 cash or something. The entire game of it is free, but the only thing is like they got skins, and those are the things that cost money, and that doesn't affect your gameplay. Like you can buy like, a really cool looking skin and then still lose to like a bronze. Man, you just paid $20 to look cool while you lose. But if they would do something like that for this one,
that's absolutely true though. It's League of Legends is more when you pay in, you pay for aesthetics. You pay, like you said, to look cool, and you can easily lose to a lower player, but you still look cool doing it.
Yeah, like the thing is, like the reason why their game is like one of the top games in the world is because they keep the game fresh by updating it and like giving you a patch every 2 weeks. Where Red Links gives you a patch every whenever fuck you. And if they would just like work more on balancing, this game would be healthier. Like I'd spend more money. Like I think I spent like $5 just to go to PvE and just like open lockers for silvers at one point. And then I spent I bought the 5 packs to try to get Medusa Bebe, but back then I didn't know it's not guaranteed. So after I did that, I'm like, I'm never spending money on this game again. This is garbage.
Yeah, fair enough.
Can I comment on that?
Yeah.
So this is the analogy that I've given. Analogy might not be the right word, so forgive me if that's incorrect. So what I have told people in the past, because I'm not like a hella like Lixie whale, but like, you know, a little tiny baby whale. I've plugged enough money into this game. But what I tell people is, okay, so if I put $60 into Phone Destroyer, and I don't buy any other game for over a month, then I've gotten my money's worth, because I spent $60 on Super Mario Odyssey and then I beat it in 3 days, and like that's it. My time is valuable. So how much time am I getting from Phone Destroyer versus how much money that I'm putting into it? It can definitely be seen as greedy, because there are some really obvious things that Red Links is doing that, you know, Clash of Clans, or I don't know. I don't play any other game quite like this. I don't do pay to win for anything else other than buying costumes in Overwatch. But I haven't had to buy another game up until recently, when I finally started getting bored with Phone Destroyer, and it was because I was putting a few bucks in. You know, $10 a week for 6 weeks is $100 hard copy of a retail video game.
Dude, I used to go ham on this other game. I used to play. Well, I still play. I play Fire Emblem Heroes, and
Nice.
I used to drop 75 a week on that game because they would always be releasing new shit, and it's super cool.
That's
And being free to play in that game is like you don't really get as much. And when I think of Phone Destroy, I'm like, well, they're not really releasing this. Like, there's no really reason to like buy shit in this game. Like,
$75 is about. Sorry to interrupt, but $75 is about a little less than one average day of work. Would you say that $75 a week was worth spending your whole weekend having fun playing this game on one day of work?
well,
Like, it depends on how much time you put into it.
I think in that other game I put like, I don't know, maybe near 1,000. But it didn't really phase me on that game because it's not really. I mean, that game is also kind of pay to win, but it's not really at the same time because like everything is also free.
You valued it more than Phone Destroyer because you had more fun, you spent more time.
Yeah, because at one point I was playing both of them, and the thing is like Fire Emblem, like they're releasing new shit like every week, every other week. They'll give you a calendar of what's to come for this month, and Red Links is just like yeah, something's coming. We don't know when. You don't know when. And fuck it might come tomorrow. We don't know.
See, I've hit my wall because, or at least currently, because pay to win, like, if you're listening to this later or whatever, like, you can DM me. I'm sure I'll get hate for this, but winning is fucking fun. So if I spend $15 and I get to continue winning, that's fucking fun for me. And if I have $15 and you don't, I earned it. And if you don't want to spend your $15, then open a lemonade stand. I earned that $15 and you didn't. I win. I get to have fun. You don't. Like, I don't know.
Absolutely. No, there's a kind of touch and go there, right? Because like you said, you earn that money and you chose to spend it the way you wanted to spend it, and they earn their money and they choose not to spend it on Phone Destroyer. So for somebody that's completely free to play to complain about somebody that's pay to win isn't really fair in that sense, because they have every opportunity to also pay to win and they choose not to. With that being said, though, I personally think that, the amount of time that I've spent on this game warrants the money that I've started to put into it. And mind you, I spend a lot of my money on the cash so that I can stream, because I know that my viewers like to see me, win my matches and open my PvP pack, refresh, do it again. You get 2 hours worth of PvP packs and maybe you grind 8 to 10. It makes for a lot more interesting stream. But I totally agree with you, because I used to own an Xbox One, and I recently sold it because it was a glorified Netflix machine for me, and I wasn't playing any of the $80 games that I had bought. So for me to not get any value from an $80 console game, but to get extremely high value out of a free-to-play phone game, a mobile game, it was a no-brainer to start spending money on the mobile game, because I was getting value out of it. And when I started spending money, the value just kept increasing, because I got more cards, I got more materials, I could upgrade more, I could, like you said, I could win more. So the value increased rather than decreased by having a hard copy of an Xbox game sit on the shelf.
It's so funny that you should say that, and I'll just say it really quick, but I've never sold a console in my life because I enjoy collecting hard copies of games and consoles. But the Xbox One is a $600 Halo machine, and I was not having that.
Dude, I've been playing Halo Wars all day because of it.
Well, yeah, no, that's... all right, let's keep it at South Park. But I'm just saying, I literally sold that's the only console I've ever sold in my life was the Xbox One.
I sold it because I basically got into a rut where I was only playing sports games like NBA 2K and NHL and stuff, and I was like, I'm not even getting any value out of playing these. I'm spending 20 minutes playing 15-20 minutes playing a match of NHL online with another kid, and then I lose 7-3 and I get pissed off at myself for even playing it in the first place. So why bother? Whereas this game, especially with the legendary matchmaking. There's so often times that if I'm on a losing streak of like 3 to 4 matches and I'm getting pissed off at myself, I eventually just come up against like a 4,500 rank level 13 new kid, and I'm like, okay, it's time for you to get it stomped so I can feel better.
Because it's fun to win.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why people have such like a I can't think of the most eloquent word that I'd like to use, but it's such a like a God, I can't think of what I want to say. The fact that people get so angry that other people enjoy winning just is so bizarre to me.
It's
like
fickle.
Of course I it's fun to win. Who in the hell doesn't have fun winning? And I only say that because I've seen this argument on Reddit. I've seen it on the actual Discord. I absolutely respect the hell out of free-to-play players. Like, that's amazing. Like, you're getting value and you didn't spend any money at all. But you're gonna like rip on me for spending $50 so that my cards could be better, so that I could spend, I don't know, 4 hours having a great time. $50 is dinner for two. Like, come on.
Yeah, no, the value's there.
I'm just ranting, I guess, but
no, it's cool. I guess we got like really one more topic I want to cover before we jump into deck discussion, which usually takes quite a bit of our time anyways. But what do you guys think about the upcoming news of the legendary locker buffs? So tonight on stream, Steve and Buck for the Red Links live stream are going to be talking about the buffs coming to legendary lockers. They haven't given out too much information about what's going to happen here. But I think it could be a really good thing to see these locker buffs, because one of the things that I don't think is right in this game and is broken for collection is when you get one common out of a locker and legendary that you're really building towards when you have to collect 1,000. So I'm actually going to turn it over to HeroKing.
I had no idea about this. I didn't know they're buffing lockers, but I think the locker system is kind of stupid. I wish you could just like pick one that you like one of three, then you can pay for the other two. Because I think it's kind of dumb. Like there was one time where I opened all lockers for 6 silvers because I needed that last one so I can upgrade to the level. And I think I spent like 100 something. But I posted it in our Discord, and everyone was like, "Dude, you're dumb. Why'd you spend all that much for 6 silvers?" But that's back when silver farming was really scarce. But
it was a grind.
Yeah, but I mean, I see what you mean. I hope they do something that good to the point where we get like maybe like 10 commons. Because if we're in Legend, then we're obviously not going to need that one copy of like Ike or something. Because we're going to need something for 1,000.
And I think, I've seen a couple 7s and a couple 9s come up for silvers, silver materials, and I wouldn't mind seeing that be the lowest quantity. Instead of having 1 silver material come up or 3, the lowest you might see is 7, and the highest you might see is 15, maybe.
But the bad thing about it is like, if they do a buff like that where like you increase the amount of shit you get, it's gonna greatly separate the whales and the free-to-play players, because they can be getting possibly up to hundreds of materials a day, and maybe hundreds of cards they need a day. Like if it's like 10x of like Astro Butters, then they're gonna be the gap. The gap between free to play and whale is gonna get so much greater. Because in the past probably like 2 or 3 months, I've dropped maybe $15 on this. 10 of it was just for 10 of it was like for 10 of it was for this Robo Baby weekend, and 5 of it was for silver item. And other than that, like, I haven't really seen a reason to like buy into this game. But if they do that, I don't really think it's gonna be.
But wouldn't that also entice players to be pay to win?
Yeah, it would. I mean, it could definitely help their sales if that's what they need. But if they're just gonna keep doing shit like this, like I see a lot of reason why people are quitting. Like I've seen a lot of like NAMBLINGS players and NAMBLETS players leave because Red Links doesn't really seem to be listening to the community.
Absolutely. And touching on that, and I want to get OniChris's opinion here in a second, but touching on that, Actually, Redwine Mimsy messaged me. He DM'd me on Discord, and he just gave me the heads up that he was thinking he was on the fence about quitting, and he was kind of like 2 or 3 days away from it, because he wasn't having a good time in this game anymore. He spent all this time in the last 2.5 months trying to upgrade to a level 7 Mimsy, and unfortunately it's really crippled his deck, and the payout for a level 7 common card isn't actually as great as it could have been, which we all know now because we've seen Slavius's Rats, and we all know that once you get a level 7, you actually can't upgrade them. So a max level 6 and a level 7 common, the difference really is about, 20 attack and 30 or 40 health. Like, it's not a big difference when you're scaling up against a max level 6 common.
I mean, when you get a level 6 common to a level 6 max, it tells you that when you upgrade this card, it doesn't give a plus to the amount of upgrades you can get. So 70/70 was 70/70 was like always public knowledge. Like, there's no secret about it. Like, there's no hidden, like, oh, you get 90.
Yeah, that's
So
fair.
that
I
was
didn't
always
know
like
that.
public knowledge.
That one I didn't know.
Yeah, I saw that from the start when I saw Redwine Mimsy. I was like, hey, do you get more upgrades? And then I looked at the thing. I was like, well, it says plus attack, plus health. It doesn't say plus upgrades.
Okay. But going back to the legendary locker buffs, I'd love to get your opinion on that, OniChris.
I think you cut out. Did he cut out, or did I cut out?
Did I cut out?
Yeah,
you're Tao.
Okay, cool. I don't really know too much about it. I think it would help the game, not in the way that it needs to be helped, and could be both more beneficial for Red Links and the player base, rather than just fixing the legendary lockers. I personally don't have an issue. I mean, I hate to say this, but like, I've spent like 50 cash on like 3 syringes if I really needed it right then and there, because it's instant gratification, and it's not an issue for my family, or me and my girlfriend financially. There's just there's just so many other things that would be better fixes. I think one of the biggest issues that people are quitting, like Redwine Mimsy, for example, or even myself, who I don't think that I've done 5 packs, 5 phones destroyed in the past couple of days, because it's like, it's boring now. If there was tournaments, for example, like League of Legends, which I heard you mention earlier, HeroKing, like,
Yeah.
that's like a big thing. We don't have tournaments. We just have, nobody gets to see Lixie or Adorna, fuck someone to shreds in a clutch match. We just have individual streamers doing their thing. I don't know.
So just to touch on that, I think the game's still so brand new that unfortunately we're so quick to judge as a community through growing pains. And I spoke with LaFleurs in a DM the other night about isn't that what beta's for, is for growing pains? And yes and no. It feels like the game was very rushed. The advertising was, in my opinion, it came out advertised 2 weeks before they launched beta. So, Fractured Butthole or Stick of Truth was advertised 6 months beforehand, but this game was only advertised 2 weeks beforehand. So it was almost like, oh, hey, you guys are all hyped up on Stick of Truth. Why don't we just drop this other ad at E3 for this new mobile game we're going to push out, and give it a 4 to 6 month beta period where we really don't have enough time to test it, because we haven't had enough extensive testing behind the scenes before beta. So it feels like we're really going through growing pains that should have went through beta.
Well, honestly, I didn't even know that all that happened. Like, I was just going up on Facebook, I saw a South Park app, and I just downloaded it. But I think what they really need to do is look at statistics and change the game based off of that, and it would really keep the game healthy. Because this freaking one missing nerf per season it's not really helping.
No.
They need to look at like win rates. Like I do like I've done statistics on like some people I talk to, and I ask them like, hey, I need you to give me this information. Like, how often do you win with this deck when you go against this team, or how often do you win with your deck when you have a bad draw? And the reason why I say adventure is overpowered because in my little tiny like survey statistics, adventure had the most consistent wins across the board, which is going into a bad matchup, going into or opening bad cards, and being able to outtrade your opponent. And I told them like if there's any bugs that like if the bug didn't happen, don't count that as a win or a loss. Like if you one thing would be like if you had Hallelujah in your hand and you can play it as Rogue Token is about to do it, but he instant casts and you just lose off of that, then I wouldn't count that as a win. I would count only like in games.
I'd like to add, I think we're approaching very rapidly the breaking point of this game. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Niantic incredibly failing within like the third month of Pokemon Go because they weren't listening to the user base and they were being greedy as shit and they ruined their own game. And it was only the second game they had ever made. And the first game they ever made that players had played, they were like, don't, like, they're going to fuck it up. Don't do this. Don't pay money for it. I personally am not familiar with Red Lynx doing anything else. Is this their first game, second game, whatever? I don't know. I assume it's a learning experience for them as well. But if they pull a Niantic, then the game will die, and then we'll all disband and never talk to each other again. But if Ubisoft and South Park Studios is smart enough to be like, hey, don't fuck this up, we're going to make it or break it within the next couple of months, I feel.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think one thing that I would change about this game that would dramatically increase sales and increase the amount of people playing and like how fun they're having is you give people a chance to or dematerialize your cards, get your materials back, whether it's a percentage or not, and change cards around, make other cards viable. Like there are times where I want to use like other cards and I'll have to fucking demote to like 2,000-3,000 just to play them, just to have that kind of fun. But if they did shit like that, this game would be so much healthier.
Yeah, they definitely need to change their meta right now. We're in a heavy assassin meta, and it really destroys a lot of strategy for some decks. Because how do you build a deck around mid-range push with fighters, tanks, and ranged units when 4 assassins from 2 themes can come and cut you up faster than anything else?
Yeah, I think that's just like extremely unhealthy about this game. Just that I can't outplay you if you're gonna spawn at 2 costs every 1.8 seconds. That's just what's really frustrating about this game.
Yeah.
I just can't help but focus on that starter screen because I assume we're all decent South Park fans. Matt and Trey are pretty damn real. Like they wouldn't like. I just don't feel like. I don't think that they have a leash on Red Lynx or Ubisoft or whoever the hell is mainly in charge of this game, but it's capitalizing off of the fact that it's South Park.
Absolutely.
I think a couple of months ago we all got it because South Park's fucking funny as shit. And like for me personally, I've never played this type of game, so putting money into a mobile app was a little foreign to me. But it was South Park and it was fun, so I was happy about it. But I don't know, like it feels like Matt and or Trey need to address it. Like they literally made fun of pay to win games in an episode and the title screen of this game. So maybe that's how they're getting away with it. Like, you know, I don't know.
I just think they need to. Oh, can I say one last thing?
Yep.
I just think they need to like change a lot of stuff because I come from a lot of other games. I've played other mobile games. I've dropped money in other mobile games, other types of card games. Like to keep it healthy, I think the closest thing I can compare this to is Hearthstone. They listen to the community. They like everyone says, "Hey, this card's fucking broken. Can you nerf it today?" And they're like, "Okay." We got like 40% of our community saying this card's broken. We're gonna nerf it. We got 80% saying this shit should be nerfed like today, so we're gonna nerf it to the ground. I like League. They also listen to their community, and they're like, okay, well this person's broken, so we're gonna nerf this. And the Red Links doesn't do any of that. I want to say they do care, but from what they show us, like actions speak louder than words. They don't give a shit about about our complaints. Like I've at Buck and Steve in the game, and I'm like, hey, when's Mystic gonna be good? When's Mystic gonna be good? Because I'm tired of losing to people who just two goss every 2 seconds, and there's no you can't really skill someone out of that. You can spawn 10 units or 5 units at the start of the game, but I can only spawn 3. What the fuck's with that?
Yeah, but Hearthstone has a whole community that can have an issue. We are, or at least the 3 of us are some form of NAMBLA. We're basically in the top 1 or 2%. Why the fuck would Red Links care about us when the other 98% is paying all their bills?
Because most of their money comes from top players.
I disagree. I think that most players go, oh shit, a South Park mobile game? Hell yeah. Let me download this, put $10 in, and you put that across the, however many countries are able to download this app. That's way more money than myself, Lixie, or Adorna are chucking into the game.
So
by far.
I want to leave on one note before we move on to the deck discussion. I totally agree with you there, OniChris, because at the end of season 2, and I would when I say the end, I would say the last week before season 2 ended. I searched it up, and there was over 160,000 Android downloads for this game, and over almost 300,000 Apple App Store purchases of this game, downloads. So that's almost 500,000 players. And like you said, if there's players in, Silver Shield who are like, oh, I love South Park, let me drop, $5, $10, $15, $20 into this game just so I can play it a bit. And you multiply that across, 500,000 people, the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10%, and I would probably say I'm probably sitting in the top 15 to 25% of people that probably spend money on this game. We're really not the big group here. And in the business I work in, our business is a grocery business, and we make pennies on the dollar for most of the stuff we sell. But we sell such large quantities in a grocery store. There's over 500 to 800,000 items in a grocery store. So if you multiply that up, it's the quantity of the low spending that's going to make you big money. And unfortunately, the top percent guys, they're not spending enough to equal out the bottom 75%.
See, that's exactly correct. I think Matt and Trey both know that. I think all of South Park Studios absolutely knows that. And I know that for a fact because Kyle made fun of me when I beat the game for spending so much money. So it's built into the game to not be a pay to win.
Do you guys think Matt and Trey are sitting at home oh my god, look at all these idiots playing this game, why did we even bother making it? These guys all are spending money on this game that's just so stupid. I would never play that game.
You're damn right. They don't sit on a gold toilet for nothing.
No,
I don't think so. I think that they specifically put the ending and the beginning in on purpose because the episode with Stan's grandpa and all that, they know, it's not against a matter trade to make fun of anybody. And if we're going to continue to play this game and make it successful, then we deserve to get made fun of.
I think it would be so funny if there was an episode of one of the newer seasons where there's just this new kid just sitting on in the playground at school, and he's just playing on his phone, and Cartman and Kyle and they all come up to him, and it's just it's oh, new kid, what are you doing? And it's oh, I'm just playing this game. It doesn't even have to be South Park. It could just literally be called Phone Destroyer. You'd be I'm just playing this game, Phone Destroyer, and all the kids would be oh, really? Do you put money into that game? And then he's yeah, I've spent $50 or $60 in it, and you're such a fucking idiot, and laugh about it and walk away.
Yeah.
Just to make
it have to do that.
That's already an episode. It's the Terrence and Phillip game.
I get that, yeah, but to really just make fun of their own product, I think that would be funny.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I think I'm falling for it because it's a comfortable living for me. I think that I will, uh, within the next 30 to 40 days, either completely delete or quit playing, or they'll fix something and they'll continue to prosper. Um, and it won't matter. Like
Yeah.
the thing that's sad is this conversation means nothing.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
Red Links doesn't give a shit. Ubisoft doesn't give a shit. Like it's unfortunate, but like that's just like somebody in chat put it's economy 101. Like like we're the ones that are doing this to ourselves. It's not Red Links' fault.
Absolutely, it is. It's 100% on us. We are to blame, and we are the cause. So it's. But you know what? It's at the same time, it's a fun game, and I think on my end, I'm gonna give them till November. I'm gonna give them a full year, and by November, if I haven't seen improvement, I definitely will be dropping this myself. But if I can sit here and say that I got entertainment out of this year, then it'll be worth the investment for me. But we are getting pretty late into the stream, so I'm going to toss it over to deck discussion. And I'm going to be asking each of you to go through your current deck with a backdrop on the screen where you can kind of talk about what combos you have, what cards you like, what cards work well together, and what cards don't, what cards you might have changed out of your deck. And I'm going to start with HeroKing, so I'm going to throw that up right now. You can kind of start whenever.
Okay. What's the delay on your stream? Because I'm gonna start talking about it when I see it.
It would probably be a couple seconds, I would hope.
Okay. All right. I see it now. So I'm just gonna let you know this deck is garbage. This deck is terribly. These two classes do not belong together. This deck is all right. You get the point. It's terrible. But I made top 200 with this somehow, and I have no clue why. But I only have 1/2 cost in this deck, so I have no idea why I'm even winning against Adventure in the first place. But I got a bunch of range units instead of assassins because I don't have the luxury of having assassins in my classes. But I guess the combo outside of was like, as soon as the game starts, if I have energy staff, I'll just throw that shit out there, just wait to see what they do. If I have energy staff and Alien Collide, I'll just snapcast Alien Collide. So what happens, like whether it's 2 costs or 3 costs, that thing's gonna die unless it's a Zen Carbon. And then that's when I start winning the energy trade. Even if I drop energy staff, because then I use my 3 costs and I kill your 3 costs or 2 costs, then you have to send another unit or 2 to kill Alien Clyde. By that time, I have Poseidon Sand or Friar or Zen Cartman to go kill someone with Angel Wendy chilling in the back. Cupid Cartman is there to kill Terrence because that dude's annoying. And I got visitors in there. I only put visitors in there just because they're a 3-cost range unit. Because my deck really relies on Zen Cartman slow pushing or fast pushing, however you want it. If I were to really change the stuff about this deck, I would remove Mystic and just make a whole new deck because I think Mystic is garbage. Even though like I climb high enough, but I mainly climb from skill because I beat like top 100 players before. I beat people with like level 6 common assassins before, even though they would like shred my Zen Cartman in a second or two. But I don't know. I can't really go on too much about this deck because I think it's terrible and I have no idea how I'm moving with it. Regen's garbage. Regen doesn't even do anything.
Do you ever draw out poison with your energy staff?
Poison?
Yeah, so I know a couple of other NAMBLA members, including Make, have talked about an Alien Clyde instacast, snapcast poison at the beginning of the match for the first move. If you play Energy Staff, they are going to still drop their snapcast because they're thinking you're summoning a unit, and then they've just lost their poison from Alien Clyde because Energy Staff can't get hit with poison.
No one plays Energy Staff. I've never. I think me and like 2 other dudes in Legendary play Energy Staff. So I'm serious.
But do you use it to draw out the snapcast poison though? That's the question.
Oh, do I use it? Oh.
Yeah, like when you play Energy Staff, are you drawing out a snapcast Alien Clyde poison?
I don't do it intentionally. I just do it because I don't want to be the first to play a card, and that's like the only way. The Energy Staff is the only card that you can just throw out there and not have to like worry about, okay, this unit's gonna die.
Yeah.
But I mean, sometimes it does, and I think it's kind of fun. And then people will just rage or laugh about at me. But I don't like do it intentionally. Like if it's there, it's there. Like if I mean, you're the reason trying to exploit a bug, so I don't see why I should try to draw it out intentionally.
Fair enough. Emily Wooten asks you, do you play Mecha or do you have Mecha?
Yeah, I have Mecha. He's garbage. Don't ever use him. He's a win more card, and he's a 4 cost. So first of all, he's 4 cost, which is terrible. That's too high. You can't defend with him. His charge is really long, and you only keep him for 3 seconds. So what I mean by win more card is Mecha Timmy is only good if you're gonna win without him in the first place. Other examples of win more cards are stuff like, I would say Fireball, but you can be behind and then you just win because of Fireball. But other examples of win more cards are Wendy. No.
Like Captain Wendy?
I'm trying to think. What other cards are win more cards?
I know what you mean by it though.
Oh, Stand of Many Moons. For the most part, he's a win more card. If you... No, that's a bad idea. I think it's just really hard to explain it.
Tech, who is Legacy 24, is saying that Regen would be a win more card.
That's Tech?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Regen is a win more card.
Legacy 24X is Tech.
Cool. Yeah, I dropped Regen from my deck and I swapped it for Hallelujah, and I've been... But Regen is only to counter Terrence, and that's the only reason why it's in. But I think Hallelujah is a better card. But I think Mecha Timmy is garbage because he gets out-traded a lot. Hook Hand Collide, if you get Hook Hand Collide, and I made a meme where my Hook Hand Collide hits New Kid, but yours will hit my Angel Wendy.
Yeah, well, that kind of is just the way the magnetism works for a lot of people, you know. You can throw it, but it's not going to hit the card you want. But if you wanted to hit the New Kid just to break the phone, you're probably going to hit a card.
Yeah, but the reason why I think it's I think Mecha Timmy's garbage because poison's really rampant. So you're gonna lose 1 energy, and you're not gonna be able to like turn a kid around for whatever, like 1.25 seconds or whatever. Hook Hand. The main reason is Hook Hand Collide, Fireball, Lightning Bolt, Poison, Alien Collide, Dwarf King Collide, Alien Queen Wendy. Literally any assassin. As soon as you get to that line, literally any assassin kills. He can't defend himself. He's just pretty bad.
Fabian Taylor in here says Ninja is also a win more card, which I agree with, because if you're gonna...
Can you say that again?
I said Fabian also, he messaged in the chat here and he said Ninja is also a win more card.
Yeah, Ninja is a win more card. He's one of those, like, you don't need him, but if you, like, I used to play Ninja for a long time, and if I were to play Ninja, I'd play it back in this deck because I got visitors. But
yeah, that would be a good
buff.
Ninja
is one of those cards where you can't play from behind. It doesn't affect the game state. It doesn't affect the game state in a healthy way where you will only steamroll your opponent if you get it off successfully. If you don't get it off right, then you just wasted 4 energy.
True. If there's nothing else you want to talk about, I don't know if OniChris has any questions about your deck. I don't think the chat has any more.
I got one last thing to say. Purify is broken. Even if it's garbage right now, it's broken right now. You auto win against any mind control, and you stop poison on like whatever you want. Purify, I think the nerf about it now is it's a skill nerf. Because they said they don't want it for you to flick it, and it just heals everything. It's a skill nerf, so the way to play Purify is you have to be energy efficient about it. So what happens to me a lot is I'll Purify a Mind Control, or Mecha Timmy Mind Control. I'll Purify an Alien Clad Poison, or Regen on them if they're all grouped up together. What the? Are they making fun of me?
Tech says to kick you now for saying that Purify is a skill nerf. And
no, that definitely is a skill nerf because I kept Purifying and I've been climbing a lot higher. because I kind of auto win against people who don't play Purify. The range, okay, so like with the Purify nerf, I'm cool with the Purify that it got nerfed. I'm not cool with how it got nerfed. So the thing I was thinking about was like, okay, Purify is definitely gonna get nerfed. It's either gonna get a range nerf, or a cost nerf. But it got both, so that caught me off by surprise. So I took it out for a while, and I dropped to like 3,000 because of it. And I put it back in. I climbed up to like top 1,000 in like a day. Give me a second. So Purify is still good. You just can't use it. You just can't use it willy nilly. You have to be very precise about what you're gonna. You have to think about if I purify this, is it gonna like survive long enough to make an effect on the game state? Because it'll turn your 3-cost Alien Wendy or 3-cost Angel Wendy into a 5-cost Angel Wendy to stop Alien Clyde. Something like that. If I usually group my units together because I don't give a shit about Fireball. So I'm okay with that. But eventually, when you get to the middle of the stage, if you slow push with Zen, all your units are going to group up because they're just going to put a shit ton of assassins in the middle. But Purify is going to be okay there. But I still think Purify is good. I told someone to put it in, and he's been climbing again. So it's a good thing.
Fair enough.
I think it is Tech.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think you told Tech to put it in there.
Yeah, I told him to put it in because you'll climb with it.
One more question here. Emily Wooten says, "Why don't you run Enforcer?" And I assume she means for Purify because her first comment is Purify sucks now. Why don't you run Enforcer?
Because Purify is better than Enforcer. But no, really, I don't like. I used to play Zen Cartman, and well, I'll be getting back to this. Why I don't play Enforcer, but I used to play Zen Cartman and the little Freeze Cartman in the same deck. And it's because there's a point in time where I wouldn't open Zen Cartman, so I was like, well, fuck, I gotta put another Cartman. But I got tired of like stacking cards, so like I'd have only 4 cards in my hand, so I wouldn't want to run Friar Jimmy and Enforcer Jimmy, because Friar, as soon as I get him to level 6, he's gonna be way better than any other Jimmy in the game.
Yeah, Friar is a very strong Jimmy, especially at level 6 when you can get that 10 HP. So Tech just wanted me to let you know he said that's better with a question mark. So I assume he's still unsure about your answer with Purify there. But we're gonna move on to OniChris's deck now, and I'm gonna bring that up on screen.
Wait, I got one last thing.
Go for
Purify
it.
is better after the nerf because people don't expect it.
Yeah.
More people run mind control, so like, okay, cool, mind control, then Purify, and you just auto win. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, my deck is the Ryu of this game. It's generic as shit. Everybody expects all of it. They're all really good cards at a really good level. I think maybe the unexpected ones might be Space Warrior token, because not too many people have him at level 5. I've been playing with a lot of different decks right now, and am often looking for feedback. So if you have any, feel free. Enforcer's about to be level 5. Everything in here is level 5. I genuinely, I mean, I don't have a whole lot to say other than like this deck is Ryu. I mean, it's what you would expect.
This is the kind of this is the kind of deck that will tilt the fuck out of me, and it'll just make me flame. And just because you got 4 2-costs and I only have 1, I don't have the luxury of running all these 2-costs.
Yeah, my energy cost is 2.8 with almost everything being a level 5 with the exception of a couple of epics and Jimmy, who will be level 5 by late tomorrow. Also, LaForce was asking, where's AQR? I replaced her for Stan right now because it is a little bit more fun for me, because my program Stan is level 4. And I do use poison. I will be replacing Stan with AQR when I get her to 5, but I'm currently getting Enforcer to 5. After that, this is a boring ass deck. It's incredibly
Wait,
Astro,
you don't play stand up many OP?
Bros of
I
standard many
did.
bros.
I did. In fact, I had Program Stand and SOMM in my deck for a while at the same time, and it's a lot of. It's a cool card, but this is, I feel like the actual fucking meta right now. I would really love to work in Hyperdrive,
What
uh,
what
but
what level is your stand up many booms?
he's max level 2.
Oh, awesome. Oh, keep talking. I'll talk about what I would change. I mean, I'm garbage, so
My
you don't have
deck's
to listen to
like
me.
my deck isn't by any means good. I'm not good at this game. I just have money and I like South Park.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
That level 4 dog poo, in certain situations, do you find it very, very good, or do you find it can be holding your deck back?
He works best with Astro's Death Wish.
Okay, for the speed up.
Yeah. Whenever I try to pair him with Astro, and then he's a fucking monster. I'm just playing chat. Like I'm an insane. Like I'm really good. But yeah, no, he's really good with Astro's Death Wish, and especially could like having Kyle in the back, because typically everybody expects Kyle or AC to be spawned first. So Kyle comes out, and then Astro, and then Dog Poo, and then Dog Poo gets Kyle, or rather Astro's Death Wish, plus Kyle's attack up, and he can one hit like most cards.
I believe that.
He's not, again, this isn't a particularly interesting deck. I wish it was more interesting, but it gets wins. That's really all I can say. I feel like it's efficient. I've gotten a lot of feedback on it here and there. This is basically, as far as the cards that I own and the materials that I have, this is basically optimal for me. I would love to replace Sally with Ike, but as you can see, she's level 5 at about 270 out of 1,000. She also works great with Astro's Death Wish. I just don't want to waste time. Like, I don't want to waste a month and a half leveling up another card. So this is what I got right now.
That makes sense. What I was going to say is normally I would play Astro with my Sally. So in terms of dog poo, I couldn't see that working in my deck, but I can see how it works in your deck.
It depends on the energy for me.
Yeah, the chat's kind of talking about why you don't run AQR, and I know it might have been brought up earlier in the stream or before we started the stream, but if you want to just kind of explain your reasoning behind it. Some people kind of have said that, HeroKing doesn't even have his at level 4 max, and you're not using yours when you could be. So if you want to just touch on that.
Absolutely. And that's usually the first, if not only, question I get about my deck, because I do have AQR at almost max level 4. It's gonna sound very silly, but she's not satisfying for me to use. She is squishy as shit. I recognize that mathematically and competitively, she's a better card than Poison. But I play this game for fun, and AQR isn't a fun card for me to use. She dies in 2 hits. She isn't exciting or aesthetically pleasing by any means. She's not an enjoyable card for me to play for 5 cost. I spent a really long time getting Stan to level 4, and he's fucking fun. And if you can get Stan's charge off with, like, let's say I threw a level 5 Dougie in here, you know you'd be tilted as shit, and I would get a free meter.
I run Purify for that reason, so I don't come across that.
Well, I mean,
if I see Kyle of the many whatever, and Kyle of the like World Force or whatever, and Dougie, boom, I got Purify. That invulnerability does not slip through me.
personally, I don't own Kyle of the Many Moons. Perhaps it's the card I'm missing.
The Drow Elves, I believe, is what
Yeah,
he
there you
means.
go. The
But
Drow Elves.
but
Kyle.
I love that Kyle just became Stan.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I run this deck because Sir Nippler and Make basically kind of sorted through a bunch of my matches. We spent a few days going through my play style, and this is essentially just what works best for me. I've been top 400, but I'm impatient, and it's a mobile game, so it's really easy to set my fucking phone down if I don't care about a match anymore. So this is just optimal for me.
Oh, you do that? Fuck that! I just close the app and open it back up.
Or whatever.
I gotta save myself that time.
Or just whatever. And I did get a question in the chat. Oh no, yeah, I'm super selfish. Yeah, no, absolutely. No, for sure. Like you're absolutely right.
All right, well, I'm gonna read that
I'm bored.
just so that the audience knows. Legacy24 wrote, "What? She's not satisfying to use. Maybe if you weren't selfish and you did some foreplay with her and satisfied her, she'd be more satisfying for you."
Dude, she's holding a big ass fucking pool noodle. She's
Dude,
good.
that shit's
She
fine.
can satisfy herself.
No, absolutely.
That shit's fine, dude.
No, AQR is incredible, and she will replace Stan.
Dude, I find her fucking. I find her fucking pool noodle to be so satisfying.
Just
Like,
really quick, because this will be the last comment on my deck. AQR will definitely replace Stan once I finish Enforcer tomorrow, and I start getting AQR to 5. I recognize the. I recognize that.
I got one question for you. Why
What's
no
up?
Lightning Bolt or Fireball? It seems like one of the most cost-efficient cards in the game.
I'm bad.
Okay.
I don't know. I like. It's just fun, man. Like it's like I play this game to have fun. Like I don't mind losing. Like losing is basically a benefit in this current meta. Like if you lose, you D-rank, and then you fucking get more lockers. Like
on my Smurf account, I leveled up Fireball to level 3 within the first day or two. And it's satisfying when they throw a unit or two, and I just fireball the fuck out of it. Okay, cool. I just plus one enemy.
That's what I'm saying. Like I have programmed Stan in my deck. I just play this game when it's fun. If I can immediately see that I'm gonna get my ass beat, awesome. I get to D rank, and then I get more lockers.
All right, I feel it. I can respect that.
All right.
I'm not gonna fuck around with something that's not fun.
Well, I just have one more basically topic for us to kind of go over, and we can talk a little bit about some of the bugs and glitches that are still running rampant after this hotfix. I know I scheduled in quite a few bugs to talk about, but because we're running a little bit shorter on time and I want to get some more questions in at the end, if the chat has any, there's just a couple I want to talk about right here. And the skipped Warkai and animations and instacasting, it's been talked about for the last 2 weeks on this stream. So I think that talking about a couple new ones would be good. And 2 ones that I have here are cards are still being stuck behind the new kid, which is a bug that's been out since beta with HeroKing and Clyde. But I've seen Mecha Timmy's, I've seen Sheriff Cartman's, and more recently was posted in one of the NAMBLA, I think the complaint department, was somebody's Kyle of the Drow Elves was stuck behind the new
Kyle
kid.
of Many Moons.
Yeah, Kyle of Many Moons, exactly.
Best card in the game.
So he kept throwing those moons up on his teammates, and he couldn't even die because he was stuck behind the new kid. What do you guys think about that bug?
That bug's kind of, I think it's broken because so the reason I find it broken is because since so every game I play control. Every card game I play Yu-Gi-Oh, played control, played Hearthstone, played control. So any card game I go, I play the most control I can find because I don't really find aggro like that. It's just not satisfying. But the reason why that's broken is because you can throw a 3-cost, out trade someone, or specifically for HeroKing, you can throw a 3-cost, kill one of their 3-cost units, have it chill behind the unit so it's not pushing, and it gets to chill there until someone on their side of the field comes or someone moves to your side of the field, and you can just throw something behind it and push them okay, it's time to play now. But I think that bug kind of should be gone. I've been playing Kyle of Many Moons on my Smurf account with Dougie, and sometimes he gets behind the new kid. I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. I get every 10 seconds I get a invulnerability, and that shit's broken. There are a lot of games where I won because of that, and I don't really think it's like broken, or I don't think it's balanced. But since they're not gonna hop fix it anytime soon, I'm just gonna abuse the shit out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. OniChris, let's hear your opinion.
It's a gamble. We were discussing it before we went live. If a glitch such as Alien Clyde's instant shot, or I don't know, whatever other glitches are out right now that everybody can do, it's fair play because everybody has the ability to do it. Getting your card stuck behind New Kid, it's a bitch. It's annoying, but I mean, I don't know. It's a waste of energy. I don't think a lot of players are gambling on getting caught, like say Gunslinger Kyle or whoever stuck behind New Kid. If you are, your balls must be huge. Good for you. But otherwise, no, the rubber banding is really the only glitch that's pissing me off right now.
What's rubber banding?
Rubber banding is when a card actually comes back to life after it's died. Or
that shit's broken.
Yeah, or something else along those lines. I think there's a couple different ways a card can rubber band, but the most common one is after it's killed, it pops back to life.
There's also a lot of animation issues. Like you'll have a full health level 5 Sally do her full garden cut or whatever the fuck on the other New Kid, and then nothing happens, and then she just dies. And you've wasted 2 energy getting across the mid-level of the field. It's infuriating. Getting stuck behind the New Kid sucks, but at least your energy is still there and you're gaining it back.
You play Adventure, so you only waste 2 energy when something like that happens. I don't. So when something like that happens, I waste 3 energy, and I need another 3 energy to play another card.
Well, yeah, because your deck sucks.
Yeah, exactly. But I got higher than you, so I don't know, man.
I know.
I'm just fucking with you.
I know SDNW had an issue at one point where he played Unholy Combustion and just lost all 5 energy for it. Or is it 4?
Wait, he what?
He played his Unholy Combustion and the animation didn't go off, and he lost the energy for the Unholy Combustion, so he didn't get any value out of the card at all.
I think it just cycles back to the fact that Red Links is more than likely a very new company to mobile apps, and shit,
I hope they're not using Amazon server hosting services, because that's gonna suck if we find out that happened.
That I don't know what the fuck that means.
Because I played
when they go server side.
I don't know. I think back in the day I used to play this other game, and they had a really shitty server. And they used oh my god, shut up. They used Amazon server hosting services, and that thing was so bad. You can input so many things and none of it.
Well, he's cutting out and all the bugs suck. Can we close out? I need to piss and my chick's done doing whatever she was doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just going to close out here with everything that I usually close out with NigelGen's artwork. So if you guys want to hit him up at NigelGen's #0851. This stream has gone a little bit longer than normal, and we cut over a few things that we were going to talk about. But can we take 5 minutes here and see if the chat has any questions?
Absolutely. Also, I'm on the far right.
You're on the far right? Mm-hmm. Yes, you are. I see you. There's multiple people in here. I need to get one of my own done, but it's more or less just dependent on when I have extra spending money that doesn't go into South Park Phone Destroyer.
I'll go for questions for like 5-10.
Yeah, so if anyone in the chat has any questions right now, bring them forward. And any questions for either OniChris or myself or HeroKing, we'll get some answered for you. If not, we'll close it up soon. But TYRPY says, why is HeroKing so bad?
Oh, Uh, it's because Red Lynx doesn't like Mystic, so they're just gonna nerf it every season. So I don't know. I'm just gonna be stuck with being bad until then.
Yeah, Lappy said that too last week, and he kept saying, "What will you do when they nerf your precious Mystic?"
What am I gonna do? I'm still gonna be playing Mystic because I'm not gonna invest in that.
No, that's just what Lappy kept saying last week.
Um,
But
yeah. I mean, Adventure is the most consistent deck, but they're just gonna nerf Mystic. But I mean, I see where they come from because like Adventure doesn't get to play, or I mean, no, not Adventure. Sci-Fi doesn't get to play while Purify is a thing.
yeah, but I think there's totally there's a happy medium, and they really gotta find it. So, Trix MTL says, "Are you guys following me?" Geez, I don't know what context that question has.
Yeah, I follow you all the time, so you don't have to worry about that.
No.
I'm what's that dude? Mysterion. So just gonna squeeze by here.
Are you talking about Kenny, or is there a player named Mysterion?
Oh, Kenny, yeah. Cause he always around his sisters and he always protects them.
Oh, chill. All right, cool. I see what you're doing. That's cool.
Oh. All right. Well, I don't think we have any more questions, so I just want to thank you both for coming on with me. It's been a blast having you both on, and I'd love to have you both on at another time. I am going to kind of plan to cycle through different players in NAMBLA and NAMBLINGS and NAMBLETS so that, everyone has a chance to come on that wants to come on and kind of say their piece. And then kind of once that cycling period is over, I'm going to reach out to maybe some other community members, maybe some other streamers, and have them on with us so we can have just a little bit of different conversation that's not geared fully around NAMBLA. Legacy 24 has one last question. Who is your daddy and what does he do? And I'm supposed to ask that in an Arnold Schwarzenegger voice. Unfortunately, I'm not very good at an Arnold Schwarzenegger voice. Most of my streamers know that I do a pretty good Rick Sanchez for any Rick and Morty fans out there.
Oh, do it.
I have a original script from episode 3 my chick got me.
Oh, really? That's
Yes,
actually
sir.
awesome. So you're a big fan, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like a mega fan. You must be pretty upset that season 4 is like not even written because it's not signed on yet.
No, I don't want Dan Harmon to kill himself. It's a phenomenal show, but like that dude's sad. So I'm gonna bounce. I know the questions that I normally get. So 6.5 inches and OniChris on Twitter. Later.
Have a good one. Bye. Yeah, before we close out, if you want to hear my Rick Sanchez there, I can do it for you, HeroKing, just for a little one.
Okay.
All right. I'll start off with a Morty. Oh, jeez, Rick, why are we here again? We always end up in these YouTube streams for the South Park game, and we have our own game, and it's pretty cool too, right, Rick? God damn it, Morty. Why is this a question always come up? How did we get here? And what is this game? God, fucking piece of shit, Morty. All I care about is the fucking Pocket Morty's game and making sure people are playing Pocket Morty's. I always come in and talk about Pocket Morty's, but somehow we always end up on these fucking stupid piece of shit South Park games, Morty. So you stop portaling us over here, you fucking little shithead. So that's my little Rick impression. I did a pretty good one on Abiogenesis's interview, but it hurts the throat, so that's the only unfortunate part.
All right. Well, I just got one last thing to say before I leave.
Yeah, shoot.
I'm probably gonna go back to changing my name to something ripping on Adventure, but my last thing I'm gonna say is fuck Adventure.
Fuck Adventure. All right, well, thanks for coming on, and I know I was really appreciative of both you guys coming on, OniChris too. So next week, hopefully, we're going to have LaFours, Makeman, and hopefully SDNW for an Elders episode. So viewers, be sure to tune in for that, and peace out, YouTube.